It is the redistricting showdown, the plan put forth by Texas Republican lawmakers to change the state's congressional districts from what you see here to this has now officially been put on hold by a court. Today, a panel of 3 federal judges ruled that the state of Texas cannot use the new maps. And now lawmakers and candidates are kind of left scrambling with midterm elections obviously right around the corner. What do we do from here is the question. Ion Politics reporter Jack Fink, I know you've been waiting weeks for this ruling. Tell us what you make of all of this today.
Well, Doug, yes, timing has certainly been key because members of Congress, particularly the Democrats, have been waiting for the judges to rule before they file their campaign paperwork.
Yeah.
They wanted to know which maps, the 2025 or the current maps from 2021, would be in place, and now they know. The current maps in place, and Democrats from North Texas are certainly very happy with this 160-page ruling against the 2025 maps that were drawn and approved by Texas Republicans, aimed at giving them 5 extra congressional seats in Texas. Now, the 3-judge panel at El Paso federal court said in its ruling, quote, substantial evidence shows that Texas racially gerrymandered the 2025 map, which is illegal. They also cited a U.S. Department of Justice letter from July about 4 coalition districts made up of blacks and Latinos, saying, quote, DOJ threatened legal action if Texas didn't immediately dismantle and redraw these districts, a threat based on their racial makeup. It goes on to say, notably, the DOJ letter targeted only majority non-white districts. Any mention of majority white districts, which DOJ presumably would have also targeted if its aims were partisan rather than racial, was conspicuously absent. The judges temporarily blocked the new maps from taking effect in next year's midterm elections, but there will still be a trial on these maps at a later date. In a statement today, Governor Greg Abbott slammed the judge's decision, saying, quote, this ruling is clearly erroneous and undermines the authority that the U.S. Constitution assigns to the Texas legislature by imposing a different map by judicial edict. The state of Texas will swiftly appeal to the United States Supreme Court. We will see how the U.S. Supreme Court reacts to this once they do appeal, and if it does at all, and when. We spoke with all 3 Democratic members of Congress from North Texas within the last 90 minutes.
And that this is not final. This was a temporary injunction. And so that means that these lines are enjoined in this moment in an emergency way because the harm would be irreparable if they were allowed to go forward based upon the allegations that the plaintiffs were bringing forward in this case, which is that there will be a dilution of the voices of people of color in this state, whether they were black or brown.
I feel like we're on good legal grounds here. And so I feel confident, but, I'm going to be, again, cautiously optimistic in watching what the Supreme Court says.
So I think Greg Abbott is being defensive and, doing his political posturing. But this opinion is very clear. What they did was completely unconstitutional and, quote, causes irreparable harm to communities of color in the state of Texas.
So now that this ruling has come out, things have become more clear for Congresswoman Johnson and Congressman Vesey. They tell me they will file to run for re-election in their existing congressional districts. As for Congresswoman Crockett, she says she still has a major decision to make. She will either run for re-election in her congressional district in Dallas, or she will run for U.S. Senate and join the Democratic primary for that statewide race. Crockett told me she is waiting for polling to return and hopes to make a decision on what to do by Thanksgiving.
A lot of people will be watching. Jack Fink, thank you so kindly, my friend.